Hi guys, this is the another lesson from CCNA complete course of CCNA Routing Switching 200-301, and we are going to using command line interface of Cisco switches. This is lesson 6. And first of all, let me describe about Cisco Catalyst switch and some about CLI. Cisco uses the concept of a command line, which called command line interface, which called CLI, with its routers or with its switches, and that is the text-based interface, which the user can typically work with that for issuing command and press enter to do something that user want. Cisco Catalyst switches support many methods for monitor and configure a switch. For example, you can have a web interface for connecting to the switch in addition of the command line interface and many configuration items. Within the Cisco switches, there is a wide variety of switch series of families, and for a start in the CCNA course, we want to work with Cisco 2960 model. This is the famous model for layer 2 switches. Layer 2 switches means all switch devices known connected computers to their ports by computer MAC addresses. The switch don't know any IP address based on connected ports. Yes, in some times, in some situations, switch works with IP address with virtual interface that I will say you and I will describe completely that item. But for knowing and understanding connected computers, it just works with layer 2 address, means just MAC addresses. So we called the switch, it starts with number 2 in their model names. We say layer 2. That shows the switch known computers by MAC addresses. In addition, there is another types of switches, layer 3 switches, for example 3750 switches model this, and this model 3850 switches, both of them are layer 3. It means the switches can learn and can find and can understand computers in addition of their MAC address with IP address, such as routers, and it means the switch layer 3 at the same time are routers and are switches together. Cisco refers to a switch physical connections, physical connector or physical ports as either interface or port. These are many items that you can see, these black dots. They are socket, which called interface or port, with an interface type and interface number. Each of them has interface type and interface number. The interface type, as used in command line on the switch, is either Ethernet, fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet, and so on for faster many speeds. For Ethernet interface that supports running multiple speeds. For example, you can set each port of speeds as 10 megabit per second, 100 megabit per second, or 1000 megabit per second. And if your port be the fiber optic, it will be more faster. They uniquely number each different interfaces. Some catalyst switches use a 2-digit interface number. For example, fast Ethernet 0/2, fast Ethernet 0/1. While other have a three-digit numbers 0/0/1, for example, for instance. And like any other piece of computer hardware, Cisco switches need some kind of operating system software that calls iOS, or Internet Work Operating System. Cisco iOS software for catalyst switches implements and controls logic and function performed by a switch by a Cisco switch. And beside controlling the switch's performance and behavior, Cisco iOS also defines an interface for human called Command Line Interface, or CLI, that the user can work with it for configuring and for getting any information of switch. Okay, how we can access to the switch? First, imagine we have the switch and we have the computer. This switch is a new switch and unboxed early and don't work anytime till now. This is the very new and unworked switch. I can unbox that and start the configure. For starting the configure and connecting for the first time, because the switch has don't have any item, any configured item. For example, the switches don't have any IP address, don't know any MAC address, don't have any MAC address table, and so on. This is the first time we want to connect to that. We need use a cable named console cable. The console cable has three models based on your switch configuration or your switch console port. For example, if your switch console port has RJ45 model, you need use this one. And the RJ45 connector connects to the switch console port, and the other side of the cable connect based on the cable situation. For example, RS232 model, or based on maybe USB model, and the other side will connect to your computer for connecting physical from your computer to your switches. Also, console cable may be connected to the switch by at the switch side by the mini USB port, may be accessible on the switch as well. This is the physical connection. This is the first step of connecting the first time to the switch. Like this. As you can see, this is the mini port for mini USB port and for console, and this is RJ45 console port on this switch. First time I said you can connect by console cable. Other times you can use logical ways, such as using software connection. For example, you can connect through Telnet, through SSH, and any software ways. Well, what about after connecting the console cable to the switch, and what we should do for the next of physical connection? After we connected our switch to our computer through the console cable for the first time, we need a software for connecting, for making software communication that we will be able to enter the switch command line interface and start the configuration. There is many various types of software that can be used for connecting to switch. In this slide, I see you the PuTTY software. This is a free and downloadable at every time in internet. You can download and start that. And what you should do when you start the PuTTY, and for example, if we use this cable, for example, this is the COM port, and this is the RJ45 connected to the switch RJ45 console cable, and the other side of cable connected to our computers RS232 model port, or maybe USB. In my example, I used this type. Well, I connected the cable and going to PuTTY and going to the serial item, and it will be able, the connected port is visible. If you want to know exactly which COM port is connected or known in your computer, you can find that by system hardware configuration. You can see the system hardware configuration and the COM ports, and in there you will see the number of COM ports connected and identified by your computer, and enter that name in here. Okay, for example, in this example, COM1, and you should set the lowest speed for configuring 9600. Data bits must be 8, stop bits must be 1, parity none, and flow control none. Also none as well, such as parity. Both of them are should set at none. Then you can save. You can go to session item and save this, and select the serial item and hit open, or click the open for see the your switch first window. I will see all of these items, all of these slides contains Cisco Packet Tracer Simulator, no problem. But let me first describe for you. When you connect when you connect to your switch, there is two model of switch mode are accessible. The first mode we call user mode. This is the switch name and the symbol of greater than. This shows that we are in user mode. Another mode is enable mode, or privilege mode. When we enter the command enable and hit enter after that, we will get this prompt, and this shows we are entered into enable mode. User mode, if I want to describe, is the mode you cannot enter any configuration. You cannot access to complete showing of switch or router status, just for very basic items. But when you enter to switch with enable and start communicating and transaction with switch with enable command, it means you started for entering the switch many item configuration modes for configuring many items in switch, and this is the first step for entering the configuration mode. Well, this is important basic Cisco commands, Cisco switch commands that we can use in this video. Let me check it one by one and describe about that, and then we will going to check practically. The command enable that we did see in here is it will be used in user mode, because we was in user mode. And when we are in user mode, use enable command, hit enter, and entering into enable mode. This is the enable command, and switch from user mode into privilege or enable mode. Show running config. This command enters in privilege mode like this. After enable, we can use show running config command. That it will show us current config of the switch, current configuration of the switch. We will see, okay, after some minutes. Show MAC address table. Each switch has the MAC address table that will show us all MAC address computers on all MAC address devices, such as switches that connected to that switch for us. Show ARP table or MAC address tables of the switch for us and entered in privilege mode. For example, after enable, you can use and run show running config, or you can use show MAC address table. In this mode, both of them. The host name in global configure. After the user mode, this is the first mode, is user mode, okay? This was user mode. After that, you can use enable command to enter to enable or privilege mode. Okay, this is the first mode of the working switch area. The next mode is global configure mode. Global configure for configuring global items of switch. For example, changing the switch name, changing the switch, for example, date and time, and any other global configuration, not interface configuration, not the switch main configuration of specific interfaces, specific capabilities, just global items. When you want to change the host name, you should use the command host name in global config. How we can enter to global config? How we can enter to global config? That after that we can use host name to change the switch name with command configure terminal. Configure space terminal. With that command we can enter to the switch global configuration mode. Line, for example, console 0, line VTY. The line console is used in global configure as well as the previous mode, and for going into console line configuration mode, for example, maybe you want when the switch started up, it should not be directly entering the user mode. For getting access to user mode, maybe you want to ask some password. This command, when you enter to line console 0 configuration command, it will be access to you for configuring many items, specifically or specific for line console. For example, setting the password for line console, setting the username for line console, and so on. Okay. For going into console line configuration or configure mode. What about the line VTY? VTY 0 until 15, 0 until 4. The line VTY will configure telnet, will configure telnet for your switch, and with this command you can use you will be ability to configure telnet or configure SSH that provide connecting to switch remotely from the LAN or network cables that connected. For example, imagine some computers connected to your switch ports, and many computers connected, and for example, this switch is in first floor, another switch in second and third floor, all switches connected together. This is switch 1, and your computer connected to the switch number 3, and from the remote, from after two switches so far from this first switch, you can if you could configure the telnet or SSH with this command line VTY on the first switch, you can connect from the third switch, connected through connected cabling items by IP address remotely to this switch that we will configure practically. Don't worry about all one by one and step by step. Exit one step back. You can use this configure in any configuration mode. For example, in the configure terminal, or maybe you are being for example configure interface mode. When you use exit, it will be back from the configure interface back to the configure global or global configure, and when you use it again, it will be exit from the global configure into privilege or enable mode. When you use end in any configuration item, it's jump directly to privilege mode. Imagine you entered, for example, you entered from the user mode with using enable. You entered from user into privilege, and then configure terminal. You entered and went to configure terminal, global configure mode, and you use interface fast Ethernet 0/1, for example. You are in fast Ethernet configure. When you use end, it will be jump back from the interface configuration directly to the enable mode. There is no need for perform many times exit command. And when you use write, save your configuration, save your configure that rises now on switch memory into switch storage, and will be load at the next boot. And let's go to look at Cisco many various types of switch space for storing items. There are 4 types of memory or 4 types of storage space. First is RAM. These all type of chipset are built in within the switch. Okay, switch layer 2, layer 3, and any other models. Okay, well, what's the RAM? The RAM, like the PC computer's RAM, is working memory and running configuration. When you type the command and hit enter, that command will be affect on the switch that time immediately, but there is rises on memory. And if your switch rebooted, all of configuration you made by entering command will be lost because they are on memory, and memory on startup will be cleared. Another item is flash memory. This is contain Cisco iOS software. This is the main software that your switch will use it for startup and working with that, such as the Windows operating system, such as Linux operating system, such as Mac operating system that operates and starts the computer up and working completely. Another memory is ROM. ROM, abbreviated of read-only memory, stores the bootstrap or boot helper program that is loaded when the switch first powers on. This bootstrap program then finds the full Cisco iOS image after loading and manage the process of loading Cisco iOS into RAM, at which point Cisco iOS takes over operation of the switch, as well as ROM will be used when you lost Cisco iOS, for example, suddenly or deleted for any reason, deleted your Cisco iOS, and your switch doesn't have any operating system. In that item, you can log in by ROM, and you will be some capabilities for copying new operating system, new iOS into that switch, or maybe, for example, you forgot your password for entering that switch. Again, in that situation, ROM will be help you for jump and bypass configuration when you access physically to your switch. Another item is NVRAM, or non-volatile RAM. Stores the initial or startup configuration file that is stored when the switch is first powered on and when the switch is reloaded. Any configuration you entered by commands raised on memory, when you issue the write command, it will be stored. All configuration will be stored in NVRAM, and after that, and the next startup will be loads from NVRAM. This is the startup. Friends, let's go for configuration. I select at the bottom left of the screen, select the switch and select switch layer 2 2960 model. Let me select the PC and configure for the first time by console cable. This is the blue connection. Okay, select this one, click on the PC, set or select RS232 model, click on the switch and select console. Okay, I didn't connect my computer to the switch by networking cable, just with console cable, sorry. Okay, I'm going into computer. This is the desktop and I have terminal. Imagine we are in first time configuration of the switch. The switch is new and now unboxed, and we connected our computer to this. We connected our computer to the to the switch by console cable, which is in switch box, and you can buy it. In addition, you can buy it from the market, no problem. And you need to configure by terminal software, for example, such as PuTTY and serial. You can select serial item and hit enter or click open to open the switch configuration in Cisco Packet Tracer. After connecting the computer to the switch by the console cable, you can use terminal. Parity and flow control none. This is 1 and 8 and enter. Okay, connected. Now we are in the user mode. First item I will teach you when you forgot any commands that why you can and what you can do at this level. Simply you can use question mark to show you the switch itself, show you the commands that can be accessible, can be runs in this mode. Okay, I said you enable command. Let me the commands here. We can see. Okay, ENA. I type ENA and use tab button, tab, to complete commands by switch itself. This is prevent from the mistake of type or any other item, any other misconfiguration items. Keep in mind, this is a very good idea to use tab. Just type some letters and use and hit tab button to complete by switch itself. Enter. Okay, we entered into privilege mode or enable mode. When in this mode I use question mark again. The commands I can use is more than the user mode, such as this you can see. Another item is show sh tab show run tab show running config. It will show us the running configuration or any other configuration that we configured after the switch boots up. There is nothing item. All items are clear and free and empty. Okay. You can see line console. You can see line VTY 0 to 4 and 5 to 15 and many other items. And show MAC address table. There is nothing. Show, it contains nothing item. Show MAC dash hit tab button and hit enter. There is nothing item. Let me connect some computers. Some computers by the network cable. For example, 2 PC, 1 PC and 1 laptop. Connected through a straight through cable. The third item from the left, 1, 2, 3. Click on the fast Ethernet, click on the switch and select one of the fast Ethernet switch port, and another connected to the another fast Ethernet port of the switch. They will be known by switch and again terminal. Okay. When I connected to some computers, it will be shown by debug commands, by dialog notification on the switch or debug notification. It shows me interface fast Ethernet 01 change the state to up. Exactly, keep in mind, when you connect one computer to your switch, you should receive 2 up state notification. First, such as this one. See please, fast Ethernet 01 change the state to up. Interface fast Ethernet 01 change the state to up. Line protocol on fast Ethernet 01 change the state to up. What means that? The first message shows our computers connected by the physical cable to the switch. These up means the physical cable or physical port of switch connected through the cable to the another end user device or end device. Okay, but what the second up message, up state message, which called line protocol, it means interface. It means that interface by configuration, by default configuration, is up. Maybe your computer connected to your switch, okay, with the physical cable, but that port, that switch port, administratively down. Administratively be down. Maybe administrator shut down that computer. The cable is connected, okay, but the administratively down, and in that situation you will not give the state to up. You will give the message that shows change the state to down. This is in that item, the first message will up and the second message will down. But in this situation, both of message shows up, means all our items are okay and the port will work properly. This is another item for interface 02, interface fast Ethernet 02. The fast Ethernet, this is the interface type, and this is the interface number. Fast Ethernet 02 change the set to up, and line protocol on interface fast Ethernet 02 change the set to up as well. Okay, now show MAC-ADD tab MAC address table. All of computers connected together, but because nothing, any traffic or any data transfer made between two computers, the switch didn't know about their MAC addresses. If I perform any communication between them, for example, in this type 10.0.0.1, the IP address, and the second system's IP address, the second system IP address 10.0.0.2, and then I use ping command 10.0.0.1. I did communicate and the data transfer between two computers. Now I'm going to switch configuration or administrative interface. Now you can see both MAC address of both computers are known dynamically and shown each MAC address connected to which port number. If I see my computer's MAC address, for example, okay, when we use ipconfig in our computer, will show us the MAC address ipconfig/all. Sorry, we will get the MAC address of our network interface card. For example, fast Ethernet ipconfig/all. Where is the MAC? This is one. For example, B6A8 configured on which port of switch? On the port B6A8 on port fast Ethernet 01. Well, that's okay. And the other command we should test is hostname, lines, and any other items. Now I am in privilege and enable mode. I want to go to or enter to the configuration mode. The complete command is here. Configure terminal, but don't need to type all of them. You can use conf space T. Conf T. Your switch prompt changed to config switch. Config, it means you are in configure terminal, and you are new commands. If you use question mark, again you will configuration, you will access to configuration command. And if you want to enter to the switch interface port, you can first enter to configure, global configure. This is the global config, and after that you should enter to interface mode. Exit, show running config. Okay, these are my switch interface port. Interface fastness 01, 02, 03. It's up to switch number of ports. Some switch have 24 ports, some switch 48 ports, has 48 ports. Okay, this is the 24 fast Ethernet and 2 interface with gigabit Ethernet speed. Okay, enter again conf T, interface fast Ethernet 0/1. 0/1, this is the first computer connected. I think this is. I'm entered from the global configure mode into configure interface. After I did enter conf T, I entered and I did switch from the privilege or enable mode into global configure mode, and then after hit the command and after enter the command interface facility 01, I did switch or change the state from the global configure mode into config of interface mode. Now I am in the configuration mode of interface fast Ethernet 01. Okay, for example, I can use shut down enter fast Ethernet 01, change the state to administratively down and line protocol down. Look at the switch. Look at the switch. The port is shut down and show us the red or orange color, and use no shutdown. It will change the state to up. Okay, if you remember the end command, I said when you use end command, it will be jumped directly from each configuration command into privilege or enable command, such as this. And instead of used twice exit and exit, I can use end, jump from the configure, and after the configure interface, jump directly from that into enable or privilege mode. Another item is line console, line with UI. I show you now, but configure will be another lessons in this course. And write configure terminal line console 0. I entered into from the configuration global or global config, I did enter to line configuration line console. For example, I can set the password for setting the password for entering into console, that at the next time when you want to enter to line console, it will be password or maybe switch starts from entering to user mode. That was the first mode of working with switch. It will ask you the password. No problem. Line, for example, line VTY space 0 space 15. All ports that will be used for telnet or SSH. Exit again. For example, and show run. Okay, let me change the switch host name. Configure terminal host name is W1. This is the new name of the switch. It's W1. Okay, I will write end or exit WR or write. Not difference. You can use WR. Building configuration. Now, after after performing the write command, any change will you make on your switch, for example, changing the host name, it will be write and will be saved on NVRAM memory of the switch, and will start in the next time switch boots up. Let me check. Reload. Enter. The switch boots up again, and we will the host name changed into SW1. This is like reset your computer. This is SW1. Okay, dear friends, that's all. That's enough for this lesson. We did discuss about the basic configuration and basic working with the Cisco switches. I recommend you to practice this lesson and wait for the next video. A special thanks for you for connecting and joining to my YouTube channel, and I will try hardly to you be satisfied, and all of information be useful for you. Have a nice time and see you in the next video.